Step 4, compression. Now, compression can be a little bit confusing or sometimes hard to grasp. So I'm going to break it down into 3 sections: dynamic control, tone enhancement, and cohesion. Let's start with dynamic control. Dynamic control creates an overall balance and brings a consistent sound overall. What our main goal for dynamic control is to make all of these high transient peaks as consistent as possible. This, in my opinion, is the all-time best compressor, especially for beginners to learn on. Perfect. Now you can see a lot of these transients are a lot more consistent, but what I'm going to do is do it one more time, the exact same process. And this is what you'll hear is referred to as serial compression, is that when you add 2 or even 3 compressors that are doing the job of one. Now, why would we do that? That's because compression, especially dynamic control, is meant to be subtle. And the best way to make it subtle is to get 3 or even 2 compressors to do the job of one. All right, perfect. Now our dynamic control is locked in. Let's move on to tone enhancement. With tone enhancement, we're really going to go either one of 2 ways. We're going to create a fat, thick tone that gives a tone a little bit more body and slightly pushed back, or we're going to give a signal more of that punchy upfront feel. So let's add a compressor and make that happen. All right, so let's listen back to what they sounded like originally. And it's subtle, but it's going to make a bit of a difference by pushing the keys a little bit further back and pushing the pad a little bit forward. Last one was cohesion. Now, what that means practically is that instruments, vocals, and drums naturally sound like they're recorded or played in different places. So when you add glue compression, it creates the illusion as if they're in the same room or in the same studio at the same time. And that is what glue and cohesion compression is all about. So we've already added cohesion by adding compressors to multiple tracks at once. Now, one last thing I'm going to do to the drums is called parallel compression. Now, we've talked about adding full body fat tone or adding punch and upfront tone. So instead of having to choose between fat tone and punchy tone, parallel compression allows us to do both at the same time. This is very effective for having drums that are both upfront and punchy and at the same time full bodied. So I'm going to go ahead and do some parallel compression and then we'll listen to how it sounds after.